this is Xltactical, and thank you guys for joining me on another video. Like you saw, if you have seen the last video, I am back and I'm bringing more content to you guys. Hopefully I can stay on some kind of schedule or just bring out videos that you guys can enjoy. If you've already subscribed, thank you guys very, very much. If you haven't, please consider it. That's how this channel continues to grow, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So I'm going to start off with that first video update. Back at it. This guy right here. This is the PSA Palmetto State Micro Dagger. You guys have taken to the liking of when I originally made this video, and that one was a little bit off because it was a Glock frame with the dagger parts and all that stuff. But since then, PSA has released some of this stuff, and we're going to get right into it. We're going to go back to the tabletop and show you some of the stuff of this micro dagger so you guys. All right, guys, so here we are back at the tabletop review. Yes, what we have here is that PSA Micro Dagger. This one is an actual full micro dagger. Just going to go through some of the specs and all that so you can kind of get an idea of what the micro dagger is, if it's a right fit for you, what does it resemble, how it compares to a couple of the guns. We're not going to be doing a full comparison video, but just bear with me. So if you are lucky enough, there are different ways that you can kind of get this. You can get it either in the lower grip form, piece it out through frames, slides, and all that stuff, and different variations. Right now there's a micro dagger, there's an X1, a C1, and probably there's going to be a couple more. But at the time of this filming, that's what's available. This one was ordered in a complete version, so it did come in this nice PSA bag, which just in itself probably valued around 30 to 50 bucks. Very nice bag, has that PSA logo that you guys are familiar if you have a dagger. Quite nice, holds the firearm in there, as you guys can see there. It does ship with one magazine. That is a little bit of a con, if it is a con for you. It does have a lock in here, has another little pouch for other magazines, and it does come with the plate for the actual slide. That is the one thing that we've actually done to this particular firearm, is actually added an optic. Other than that, it has been stock. So let's take it out just to make sure. And we are dealing with an empty firearm. All the firearms that I'm going to be comparing this with here are empty for you guys' reference. Okay, point away, and it is free. So this is the PSA Micro Dagger. What is it, right? It's PSA's version of a Glock 43X clone. Now that word gets thrown around pretty loosely. Clone. Why? Is it like a copy of it? Not really. There's a lot of differences, a lot of similarities that it can have, but you know, overall, it is quite similar to a Glock 43X. This is a Glock 43X. This is mine. You guys have seen this in the videos before. I have done some stuff to it, some trigger upgrades, all this different stuff, but we're not going to be talking about it. And we're not going to do a full comparison video. That is upcoming. But this is basically what this gun is in resemblance to. So we have some similarities to it, like I said, some differences to it, but we're going to put this away. So I'm going to just go through a couple of things that it is. We're going to start our way at the front, make our way to the back, end up down at the bottom. So the micro dagger, right? Let's talk here in the front. We have our forward and our rear serrations, which are very typical for these micro pistols. We have sights, but that is where we start to get into some of the differences, right? If you guys can look there, we do have these 3-dot sights that these come with. The big plus to these is that these are metal, right? These aren't plastic. And if you guys are familiar with Glock sights, those sights are awful. If you like them, great for you. I personally don't like them. It's one of the first things that I changed. So I really like that. Those serrations that are there are quite nice for tactical presses, right? And it lets you have a good grip whenever you're racking your slide. It's got some beveling, as you guys can see here, there. That'll probably limit some of the wear when you're doing holstering. It does have some like little cuts, not cuts per se, but a design in there which maybe reduces a little bit of the mass. I'm not 100% sure, but I quite like that, right? Back here when we get to it, it is optic ready. So this does follow the Shield RMS footprint. So a lot of those micro dots will fit it. This one particularly has a CV Life micro dot, which we'll get into in a different video, but it'll follow a lot of the patterns, you know, Holosun 407, 507s, the Shield, Trijicon RMSC, plus a lot more, right? Then we get back here onto the grip. Let's start here in the front. The big difference here in the front is that it does have a rail adapter, so you can put lights, lasers, whatever kind of adapter you want to put on there, it will let you have. It does have a rail on there. Down here, it does have some checkering for finger alignment, right? That's where you want to, when you have your grips, you can have an indexing form right there. It does have your takedowns, how you take down your slide and your firearm. The same stippling or gripping that you have here is along the sides, the front, the rear, and the other side, which is quite nice. It does have that sandpaperish feel, not superly aggressive. So if you are carrying this, and this is up against your skin, it's not gonna rough you up, which is nice. It's got a nice slide catch right here. It is an ambidextrous, but you know, to each his own. And you can use components that normally go through a Glock 43X, would probably fit in this. It does have a little bit of an undercut right here. Quite nice open trigger guard, which I think if you have gloves or big chubby fingers like mine, you can get your fingers in there. The one part that's a little bit different, but quite surprisingly, is that trigger. It's got that safety dongle trigger, similar to the MMP Shield. I hated that trigger from Smith & Wesson, but quite surprisingly, I really like this trigger. I was surprisingly shooting very well with this trigger, which I thought for sure that was the first thing that I was going to change off of this, which I have in some of the other ones, but I've kept this one stock, like I said. When we come down here, the one thing that is a little bit different, we do have a straight profile here, so it's nice firm grip, but we have a little bit of a lip in the bottom, which allows those fingers to be pushed on. My chubby fingers all fit quite well. Not really a big swell back here, but it is comfortable, and you do have a nice undercut beaver tail here, which allows you to get a good solid high purchase in on the firearm, which is quite nice. Now, this is really the big factor around these particular firearm. This here is the Micro Dagger mag, which is very similar in design to the Shield S15. So if you guys are familiar with that, if not, you guys can click up there and it'll take you to another video. But it is basically the same type of profile of a magazine, that instead of it allowing you to have a standard 10 round capacity, which is what the Glock 43X or the 48 come with, it allows you to carry 15 rounds of 9mm, which is fantastic. They've done some work on it where it comes in either in this aluminum shiny form or the blacked out version. One of the downsides is that this only does ship with one mag, at least for the time being. And that's how I think they reduce the cost of getting this firearm into your hands. Now, what's the cost for this? Right now, for this particular firearm, minus the red dot, you're probably looking in between 3 and some change, right under 400. Probably under 400 out the door. Now, where this is a big deal is you can get a firearm just like this with a dot. It'll actually come with this dot, right? The Hollow Sun, for $499. Optics ready, good sights, decent trigger with an optic for under $500. You just can't beat that. That's a fantastic deal for you guys to be looking at. I'm gonna show you real quick, guys, what it compares to like on some of these other firearms. Right here now in front of us, we have all of these have been safety checked and they're empty. Over here on the left hand side, we got the Ruger Max 9. As you guys can see, it is much bigger than the Ruger size 9, but you also don't have the same kind of round capacity on this one. It is optic ready, but that's what it kind of looks like. Not too bad, not too shabby. Moving on here, we have the P365X, not the X Macro, not the XL. This is smaller slide with the XL grip. Again, the X, still a little bit smaller design. I'm still losing round capacity on this one. This one does have 12 rounds. You can put a 15 round mag, but it extends the profile a little bit more. So, you know, kind of similar to it. The X Macro, which I don't have, would be very comparable to this one. And then the one that we can compare it more to is the Glock 43X. Very similar in design, from the slides down to the grip. It does look like it sits at the same profile, but again, like I said, those are some of the same things and the differences that show up on here. Overall, I'm very impressed with this particular firearm. You guys have been looking into it. It is slowly becoming a really top seller for PSA. I'm intrigued to see what they're going to continue to bring to the market, right? They already have the X1, the C1, and I'm sure they're going to do a bunch of different variations with slide cuts, threaded barrels, all kinds of different goodness for us, the consumer. That's it for me, guys. Please make sure to consider subscribing if you're enjoying these videos. If you're not, let me know in the comment, what do you need me to change? What do you want to see? Make sure to hit a like button on there. That's how you continue to support this channel. Until the next time, guys, I'll see you guys later. Go out there and train and stay safe.